I want to welcome everybody to this webinar with you. It's the first time we're doing a webinar with you. And so I thought we'd pick a topic that was good. The title is, Your Facebook Marketing is Terrible. Here's why. I was going to say your Facebook marketing sucks, and here's why, but I wanted to be a little kinder. So thanks for being with us. Obviously, Wesley, you run the company LinkU, and the first time we met was through Closing Table, I think it was, right?
Yes.
I love that, dude. So tell me a quick gist about LinkU, and then we'll get into why everybody's marketing sucks on Facebook.
Yeah, no problem. So, and I know it's sometimes people reverse it. LinkU.
LinkU. Sorry, dude. I put LinkU, man. Don't worry. I'll put the right link in there, Wesley.
That's okay. I just make sure, everyone's not going and buying whatever LinkU sells.
I'm going to go check that out while you're here. Hopefully they sell Legos, and then we're right there.
There you go. So basically our company focuses on helping agents follow up more effectively and automatically to keep them in touch with their past clients, their sphere, and also help them to close more sales or increase their conversions with their prospects and leads.
That's easy, dude. You got that down.
That came out better than I thought it was.
All right, sweet. Well, let's get right into the good stuff, man. I'll put up the link, or Tessa will put up the link in here and in the Facebook community. But
yeah, I'll probably save that till later, actually. But put the link later. But yeah, today is. Do you want me to get into what I'm going to be?
Yeah, dude. Let's get right into it and let's get started.
Great. So, few things that I want to show you. Show the Lab Coat Agents community today. Am I able to share my screen?
I think so. Go right. Try it. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So first what I'll do is I'll stress everyone out with my desktop. All right.
Okay.
And then once I've done that,
wow,
I'll go ahead and share my screen.
I love that. I saw Emmett.
Did that help? Sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed when I do that. At least that's what I hear. All right, so I'm just opening my notes. So great. So basically today I'm going to show you a few things, something that I found a lot of people have trouble with when it comes to marketing on Facebook or really anywhere, but today we're focusing on Facebook, and why most of the Facebook marketing tactics get terrible results and end up being basically a waste of your time and energy, which we don't want that, right?
Yep, true.
The other thing I'm going to show you guys how the boost post feature really works, and why most likely it is a waste of time and money for most agents, and the exact strategy that you could use to avoid wasting hours of your life, your business and personal life, doing unnecessary and ineffective marketing tasks on Facebook.
Love it.
And finally, I'm going to show you how you guys could give yourself a huge advantage over all your competition by using a Facebook strategy that virtually no one else is using today. Not even Tristan. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I love that, dude.
It's not what you think. I promise you. A lot of people think, I've seen this. No, I'm telling you, it's nothing to do with having to go out and create a bunch of content and create videos or anything else that's going to require you to do a bunch of stuff that you don't have time to do. Because I know that's something a lot of you struggle with, right? So
all right. Now I'm wondering what the heck it is.
That's the idea, right? So typical Facebook marketing, what does that look like? And can I integrate? I mean, do people chat and stuff? I mean,
Oh yeah, dude. People are asking questions. They're telling us where they're from.
What do people do currently? Like, what are your typical Facebook marketing strategies, right? I'm just curious what people are posting in the chat, because I always like to know so I can kind of customize this for those people.
Yeah, let us know what challenges you're having. So, dude, I was just on with Scott Shapiro from Facebook right before you.
Yeah.
And some of the challenges that people were having were saying, well, how do we use the pixel? How do we nurture people? How do we retarget people? And those are some of the same things that we're seeing here. I think the biggest challenge is really retargeting. That's the big one.
Yeah, well, that's definitely going to be something that I hope that I plan to cover today in more detail. So what most people are, excuse me. Phone. Oh, can you hear me better now?
Wow, yeah, I can hear you really well now.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Like I was talking loud. All right, so most times when it comes to marketing on Facebook, people are told to go, post informative content, go promote your achievements. What are your just listed homes, that kind of stuff. What market trends are going on? The neighborhood news and updates. You're supposed to be like the neighborhood news reporter, right? Maybe share articles, helpful articles for your followers and people who are following you on Facebook. Do-it-yourself tips, like how to do this and how to do this improvement around the home. Holiday messages, sharing viral images and memes, because that's easy to do. And of course, some of them say, go out and review local businesses and all that stuff and create Facebook Lives. That's a big one. Hey, go on live, go Facebook Live, post your listings, all this stuff. This is pretty much what you're being taught, which is fine. It's all great stuff. The issue, which I'm going to get into, is where most agents go wrong with that. And also, do you guys remember these strategies from the good old Facebook days?
Show me.
Hey, you know what you got to do? You got to post at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, because that's when people are on Facebook. You've got to post several times a day because they go through your feed. You got to post like 5 times a day to even be seen. And then there was the days of paying for likes, which was getting people to actually just like or follow your post.
Dude, that sounds kind of sad, actually. I don't want to talk
right. And that was actually an objective that was offered through Facebook ads. Well, that's all gone now, right? Oh, and then one other thing is, and I don't know why people do this. I know you guys run into this all the time, posting or should I say spamming listings and content to groups. Like, please stop doing that, please. And I left the name up here because if Gabriella is here, I want you to stop sharing your listings into our groups because it's nationwide. And what are the chances that, one of
Wesley, I'm sure she's watching, buddy, somehow. Let me pause you there really quick because we are getting some answers both on the Facebook group and here. So I put, what challenges are you facing with Facebook marketing besides the ones that I told you at the beginning?
Oh, okay. You know what? I got the chat.
Perfect. There you go. No feedback, engagement or retargeting, capturing correct lead information, things like that.
Perfect. All right. And I'll back up my mic because a couple of people says way too loud. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much what we run into, right? And so this is the stuff that I kind of listed off earlier. These are the things that to have an effective marketing strategy on Facebook that you're pretty much being taught to do. Unfortunately, and for you guys here, how many of you have actually gone out, saw a webinar, saw training, saw something, read an article, blog, whatever, and then went out and attempted, maybe you attended an event, and attempted some of these strategies? Anyone? You say, oh, I'm going to go do lives.
Oh, dude,
I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And then you do it. But the biggest question is, and this is kind of the holy grail question, is who is still doing it now? Right? Who's still doing it? That's, and if you want to post in the chat, please do post. I'm still doing it. I'm not. No, I did it a couple times, this and that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's what you do.
Now, this next step, I want to actually I want to show why that kind of becomes an issue. So I'm going to open up my whiteboard, if you don't mind. I'm going to draw a little picture or two. Okay, it helps to kind of demonstrate. But the issue is what normally ends up happening is people go, they learn the strategy, whatever, and then they go out and they're going to, this is you. Okay, we'll just say that's you with the messed up eye.
Okay, I love it.
And you get an idea like, oh my God, I've got to go do like these Facebook Lives, right? I've got to go do that. So you go ahead, you create some content, you create something, and then you realize like, okay, I don't really have time to do this. And your eye is still like completely jacked up. So you have to deal with that too, right?
That's a big problem.
Yeah. So then you're like, okay, you find something new. Facebook Lives, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. All right, I'm going to do this neighborhood strategy. I can do that. So you create a video or two or a post, and you share local business. And you're like, awesome, this is great. This is working great for me. And then you share the local business, but then nobody really replies. No one really engages. Now you just kind of feel like you're wasting time. And so you're back to this guy like, okay, this sucks. And then the cycle essentially repeats itself. It's almost like a shiny object syndrome. Does that sound familiar to a lot of you guys?
My dog agrees with you 100%, by the way.
So I know a lot of you guys do this stuff, and then you move on to the next thing. And then you're not, so you have like a lot of the stuff you did that lived on Facebook for a week or a few days, and all that work that you went into it doesn't ever be seen again. Well, I'm going to show you how you can bring that stuff back to life a little bit later, and how you can hopefully take that work and hours that you put in and bring it back. So the number one reason that your Facebook marketing is terrible, anyone want to take a guess?
All right, put your answers there. Let me guess first though. Let me think. Number one reason your Facebook marketing is terrible. I'm going to just say because you copy paste stuff and you don't really think about what you put up there. Oh, there's a lot of answers coming through.
There's a ton of answers, and I'm not too surprised, but the answer is inconsistency.
Whoa.
Congratulations.
There was
wow,
a couple
look
of
at that.
winners. Good job, Franklin, Tracy, Megan, Kim.
Exactly, inconsistency.
Love
So
that.
that is why basically people have trouble, right? There's inconsistency. And the reason for that is because you're just not getting the results you expect. And some of you, I know you maybe pay a company to maybe post some stuff for you and share some articles or do things like that. And that's completely fine. That's great. At least you're getting some consistency. But ultimately, the biggest issue you're having is the reach. The organic reach on Facebook is almost, not completely, but almost dead. These strategies used to work because they used to show it to the people who actually followed and liked your page. But over time, that became a pay to play, which we'll get into, right? The boosts. That became a pay to play. So for most of you people, most of you agents out there have maybe like 100, 300, maybe 500 or so followers typically. Now, some of you may be you have a couple thousand and stuff, and that's great. But for the majority of us, who have 100 or 200 or 300 followers, when you post something, you'll be lucky if maybe 12 or 15 people see it, right? Maybe you might be able to get 10%. If you have 1,000 followers, you might be 90 to 100 people will see it. And it's going to vary page to page, which I'll explain in a moment. So if you wanted to see this, if you're curious, if you did any of this content before, it'll all show up there. All you do is you go to your Facebook business page. You go to Insights there at the top, and then on the left, you'll see Posts. And then on there, you can see the reach, all your posts and what they reached. Now, I don't have it in this screenshot here, but if you change that little arrow right there, that little next to organic, paid, whatever, it'll show you impressions. And the impressions are about the same as the reach, which means impressions are how many people or how many times someone saw something, and they're all about 1-to-1. So for everyone maybe saw, anyone who's in the reach, so 50 people got reached, they all saw it one time. So your impressions will be around 50, maybe 60. So, and then engagement. A lot of you guys have noticed in the chat, we're saying nobody engages, I put stuff, nobody really likes it or shares or anything like that. And if you look at these engagement numbers here, we're talking about you got 64 people saw it, right, or were reached, and then 1 engagement or 3 shares. I did some calculations. It's like 0.00083% actually will like or engage with your post in any way. And that's why when you put stuff out there, you're like, nothing's happening. Nobody does anything. Then there's a lifespan. So if you're doing this work, you're creating these posts, you're putting a lot of effort into these Facebook posts, and a lot of you I know feel guilty. And my job here is to alleviate you of all the guilt you feel for not posting on your page every week like you're supposed to.
I thought for a second you were going to say, my job is to make you feel more guilty.
No, I'm going to make you feel less guilty because now what I'm showing you is it would most likely be a waste, right? So look at the lifespan. Let's say you put this effort in, you put it on Facebook, and they have a very short lifespan, right? Unless you're posting, that's why they tell you, you got to post multiple times a week, but who has time for that? And then there's the quality. To get the best engagement, you need to have high quality content or posts, but again, unless you're spending the time, like if you're Tristan or you're good at creating content, you're going to have great results with everything I'm telling you. Right? But the point is, that's not the majority of us. And so we end up just feeling guilty because it's like, oh, I can't do what they do. How come they're having so much success and I'm not? And then if you're paying a company to do the post for you, well, unless you're paying like a custom fee for them to create all custom posts and stuff, which I don't really recommend, unless, again, you fall into some of the things I show you coming up, their content are going to be usually just articles or memes or photos, which isn't bad or anything. They're not going to have the quality. That's all. They're not going to meet the quality scores because Facebook basically rates the quality of the content. They have an engagement rating. They have a quality, like how relevant is it? Those types of things. So to really be effective on Facebook using these strategies, again, you'd have to be able to post multiple times a week. You'd have to spend the time creating quality content and posting it and timing it and scheduling it and all that stuff. And it's just too much for most of us. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works great. It's just that you have to do it. So if you find yourself not doing it and not being consistent, well, this is where some of the next strategies come in, right? So what I found is like because I've been teaching this stuff, I teach this stuff all the time. And I'm sure Tristan does, and everyone teaches this stuff because it works. But over and over and over again, what I found is like people weren't doing it, or they would do it once or twice and then they would stop. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to tell them to do that anymore, or I got to attach a disclaimer because I don't want people feeling guilty because they already have enough stuff to do, right? Yeah. Plus, maybe that time should be better spent somewhere else for most of the people. So in the end, to really make the numbers work, ask yourself, should I keep doing it? Well, yes, if you have a service doing it, you're paying someone, great. Because one great benefit is if you have posts on your page and it's updated, well, then that proves you're still alive and in business. So if someone does go to your Facebook page, you do want to have stuff there. Otherwise, it looks like you're not active and people will make assumptions off that. If you still do want to reach a handful of people or more, because again, 10% isn't bad. Like it's like half what an email might reach, right? Like a open rate or something. So think about it. If you have 1,000 people and 100 people see it, or even 150, that's not too bad. If you have 60 people who like your page, just know that all the work you're putting into it, unless you have a lot of people following you, only 6 people are going to see it. So just, remind yourself, are you using your time wisely? And again, if you're paying someone to do it, like an assistant or something that's high dollar, and they could be helping you do another high dollar activity for the same time, I'd probably automate it with one of those $30 a month companies or something, and then have that assistant or have that marketing person do someone else, unless you're going to go at it and do it fully correctly and consistently. Make sense?
Wesley?
Yep.
Can you go over again how to navigate to the page to see the insights? That one page, that one slide, so people can take a picture of it, that one?
Yep. So when you're on your Facebook, just go to your Facebook business page. And I guess I should have probably left the header in there, but once you're there, you'll see insights and then posts on the left.
Perfect. And then the other slide that I want everyone to take a picture of was that one right there, lifespan of your Facebook content or lifespan of your content in general. Guys, take a picture of this so you understand how this works, as I think we forget how long our content lasts on social. This is like this should be eye-opening to people. It's like, whoa, that's not a very long time.
Right, exactly. So that's why you have to keep busy, right? You have to keep doing it because it just goes away. And then some people ask like, okay, well, how do I know if I should be doing this? Look, this is something we call content marketing, right? That's the strategy. Like I said, Tristan, Lab Code, there's a lot of people who are really good at it and they do a wonderful job and it just comes so naturally. And that might be you. For some of you, creating content, it's no problem. Like you pull out your phone, you create content easy and it just comes easy. And if so, keep doing it because it comes easy for you. But for like a lot of us, 80%, 90%, it's hard, right? It's hard for us to get on the camera and it's just an editor. We're so self-conscious or all these different things. And so you don't do it. So I want to show you how you could still benefit from the same kind of experience, but without having to necessarily do all the work, especially if you found it doesn't come natural to you. Another thing people ask me is like, well, how do I know I should be doing it or not? The demonstration I give is this. Look, and this is real quick, but there's like 101 things you could be doing on marketing. And my writing's terrible, okay? I'm writing with
I understand that. No, I don't. I'm joking. I don't. 100.
So there's 101 things you can do in a market. Let's just say, for example. Yeah, okay? Sure. So if you were to number this, and this is actually could be helpful if you think about your priority and what you should be working on. Most people want to jump to that Facebook content strategy or blog or whatever the strategy is, and they haven't even done 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So for me, a Facebook content strategy for the most people, not everyone, for most people, lands over at like number 36, all right? So unless you've got these things checked off all the way down, then you shouldn't even be messing with a number 36. Makes sense? True, now people say, well, what's 1 through 10? That's different for everybody because it depends what you've already got in place. It depends where your strengths are and stuff like that. It might be SEO. It might be Facebook ads. It might be a blog. It might be some emails. It varies for everybody. But the point is, when you get that new idea, identify like, have you done the basics? Is your website up to par? Is your Zillow page updated? Do you have a Yelp profile? Like these are more of the basics that I would put a higher than spending a bunch of time on this new strategy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes total sense, dude.
Cool. So another way that agents will try and get exposure is by boosting their posts. Now, I know I want to know who in here does boosted posts.
I do it sometimes.
Okay, does it sometimes, and some people do boosted posts. And what ends up happening is with the boosted posts, especially if you're going to that content or the content is being created for you, a lot of that content can't be boosted, which you've already found out. Like articles, you're not going to want to boost an article to someone else's website. Some of the flyers and stuff I know you guys put in your page, you can't really boost that because it either gets it gets rejected or just not shown because there's a bunch of text, right, on the image. And most of you also boost to audiences in Facebook because they limit you right here, right? It's very limited on the audiences you can boost to through their feature, through the wizard. True. And so because of that, you end up, unless you're going into Ads Manager and doing something, or you have audiences pre-created through Ads Manager, you end up boosting to a very general, a very like generic audience. So let me kind of demonstrate a little bit what that looks like and just kind of another way to think of it and why I don't think it's a good idea for most people. And again, there are certain boosts that work, don't get me wrong, but the majority of the boosts that I see you do. One other thing I want to ask too is post in the chat, how much, when you do a boost, how much do you typically spend on a boost?
Ooh, good question. All right, let's get some numbers out there. I want to see if it's $5, $10, $15, $20. Give me some numbers.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you mine while we're waiting. Anytime I boost, and this sounds weird, but anytime I boost, I usually say, well, how much do I want to spend for the next 3-4 days, right?
Right.
Like let's say it's $150, then I just go all in and then I break it down evenly, right? Because that's what it does for us. So let's just say it's
Makes
about
sense.
$15 for me about a day, anytime I boost. And we're getting, looks like the number one number is going to be $10. That's $10 a day. That's like the winner right there.
All right. So we're going to say, I'm going to just say $10 a day. All right. And it could be higher, lower, doesn't matter. So typically people are going to boost this. Then how many are people in the audience? Do you know, Tristan, how many people in the audience when you're boosting typically, when you use Facebook's wizard there to?
Facebook's wizard, usually it's about 300,000 for me.
Yeah, 300,000. If you really like get it in a neighborhood or city, it might be like 15,000 or 20,000. I'll just use 20,000 example. Could be 10,000, doesn't matter either way. Now, one thing I want to point out is when you boost that, let's think about how many people of this 20,000 is your $10 going to reach? And I'm making a really big $10 circle, okay? Because I'm assuming you're getting like 2-cent views and engagements, all right? Now, let me ask you this.
That's very generous of you, Wesley.
Why are you boosting your posts? In the chat, why do you boost your posts? What's the point? I want to know what your point is.
I'll give you mine while everybody else is going.
Yeah.
The reason I boost mine is twofold. One, it helps with just brand recognition. That's it, period. And then the other one, it's quick. I'm like, boom, done.
Right. For brand recognition to your city, your neighborhood, your all that stuff, right? Yeah. That's what I've heard. Some people are hoping to get some lead or maybe a comment or a message or something like that. Well, these people are what I would consider, these are cold traffic. Cold traffic are people who have not yet heard of you. They don't know of you. So this is your first time you're making yourself aware to them. And this is actually probably one of the worst ways to introduce yourself to cold traffic, unless you have a much larger budget, just because you're not going to make the impact off $10. What kind of brand impact do you think you're going to have on a 15,000 audience for $10?
Dude, kind of sad. It's going to be sad.
Yeah. Pretty much almost nothing. So that's why a lot of the agents get frustrated. They boost posts. Some have done hundreds of dollars in boosts and really got nothing from it, because this just isn't the best way to jump into boosting or going to cold audiences, right? So it's really a terrible way. We'll use the lingo, a terrible way to market on Facebook, because you're just wasting your money essentially.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, that's very true, dude.
Yeah, and there is a difference, also to be clear, there's a difference between content marketing and lead generation marketing on Facebook. And this is where a lot of agents miss the boat, because while you're spending kind of all this time making sure your page is updated with content weekly or doing this and that, if you were doing that, to get top of mind with your existing it would make more sense to use that content to get more exposure to your existing prospects, you're following your past clients. Because let's think about it. Who's pretty much following your Facebook page? And I don't know if a lot of people really think about this. People who are following your Facebook page are usually people who have engaged with you in some way. They're past clients, they're prospects, things like that, right? So that's what we want to do, is we want to think about how do we get in front of those people? Follow up. That's the whole idea. We want to follow up with them.
That's the key right there.
Yeah, exactly. We want to stay in front of them. And this is really the best place to start. So the other thing I'd like to tell people is, I'm not getting in the lead gen today, but what I want to tell you is you want to have your follow-up in place first. So what I'm showing you today, you would want to have in place first before you start lead gen, and it'll make sense in a moment of why that is so important. It's kind of like capturing, it gets into a leaky bucket. It's going to make more sense momentarily. All right, so what if you could market your content? What if there was a way to use your content marketing, but without doing all the work, right? Having to come up with stuff and come up with new things and content and all that stuff, right? Would that be cool?
Yeah, dude, I'd like to see that.
And what if you can go beyond Right now you're doing your content and you're just doing it for your Facebook followers. That's it.
Pretty much.
What if you could go beyond your Facebook page followers?
Well, that's what we're hoping was going to be the case when we boosted, right?
Exactly. You wanted to boost, but then you're boosting to cold. You're going from a warm audience straight to cold with the same content, and that's why it doesn't really work.
True.
So imagine you did that. And then also, what if you can also reduce waste in all your marketing efforts? So think about all the marketing, all the time. If you spend money on marketing now or ads or anything, there's waste, right? You have a leaky bucket because people click, they leave, this, that happens, and you don't really have a way to follow up with them. Well, the way that you can do that is using a little strategy called follow-up ads, also known as retargeting, which Tristan had brought up earlier. Follow-up ads, basically, I call them follow-up ads because I found over the last couple of years, agents can mix up, not just agents, but everybody mixes up retargeting with targeting, you know, targeting homeowners with retargeting, which is not that. And so that's why I figured, you know, if we call them follow-up ads, it kind of states its purpose.
All right, I love that.
I got muted. All right. So if you're not sure what retargeting ad is, have you ever been shopping for something online, maybe shoes or furniture or whatever, and then later you start seeing those ads kind of like pop up and banners and follow up you around?
Yeah, all the time. Every day.
Exactly. Those are basically, that's retargeting. Those are what we call follow-up ads. And I'm sure all of you have experienced some sort of retargeting or follow-up ads in your use of the internet or the interwebs.
Love that.
Now, with follow-up ads, it goes beyond what you could do with content. Content's just in the newsfeed, but if you're doing ads, that actually opens up a whole nother world of placements because you can go beyond the newsfeed, like the right column. You can, obviously, you're in the mobile newsfeed. You can even go on Instagram. But even beyond that, and just let me show you what those look like. So you still be on the newsfeed just like your content would, even with an ad. You'll be on the mobile newsfeed just like you would with your content, and you can do that with an ad. But you also expand over to the right column as well. And they have multiple placement options that are always adding more. So now you'll appear in articles. You can appear in search. You can appear in even apps if you wanted to and things like that, and even Messenger. So it really takes you beyond the newsfeed into multiple places. So how do you go beyond your Facebook page followers, though? And this is a part that's really cool, and Tristan mentioned it up front, and that's called pixeling. What is a pixeled audience? Well, pixeled audience is basically people who visit your website or people who have interacted with your Facebook page or watched a video on your Facebook, things like that. They're essentially pixeled and added to an audience so you can market to them in the future. And I'll draw a little pretty drawing to explain this more. And basically the way it works, you visit the website, you see the product, you're essentially tagged with something in your browser anonymously, and then it allows Google and Facebook and stuff to put you in basically an audience so that they can show you ads, or so should I say, so I or any marketer could then show you the ads I want to show you, right? If you're in my audience. So think about it. Think about all the time or the money, effort that you might be putting into bringing people to your website or bringing people to your Facebook page or do something, and they look around a bit and then they leave, never to be seen from or heard from again, right? That's wasted. And does anyone in here do pay-per-click marketing, I wonder? Do you do pay-per-click, Tristan? All right.
Are we talking about Google pay-per-click?
Any kind of pay-per-click. Yeah, it could be Google. It could be anything like that. So yeah, if you do pay-per-click, right, what you're doing is you're sending people to your website, or you're doing any advertising. If you're doing any advertising at all, you're paying to send people to, let's say this is your website, or if you're doing leads, it might be a landing page. I wish I had a better pen, but anyway, so what happens is they come to your website. Let's pretend this is it here, right? So you're sending your leads to your website. They're coming. Some people visit. Some people, maybe you have a form on there if you're doing leads or something like that. Maybe you have a video, whatever it might be. But the majority of the traffic leave your site. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's true.
A very small percent actually fill out the form.
And they never come back, Wesley.
Huh?
And they never come back.
Yeah, they never come back because they're lost. So maybe 20% if you have a really good rate, maybe more like 10%. And if it's just your standard website, and this is if it's a landing page. If it's a website, it's probably more like 0.01% actually fill anything out or fill out a contact form. So you end up having a lot of waste here of time, money, effort, because some of you guys are just doing flyers, you're doing ground roots efforts or whatever to get people to your website. So whether you're paying for it, you're spending time on it, you're losing a lot of money. Right? You just got your bucket is just overflowing and leaving. So as you can see, if you were adding though, those people, oh, that was the part I missed. Oops. Let me get back to my whiteboard. What if though, with the pixel, that was my whole point. If you had a little pixel installed on your website, now when people left, right? Now, if I come to this website, I get pixeled, and then maybe I go and I see, let me just create a new drawing because this one's out of hand.
This one's out of hand. It looks good, dude. It looks
out of hand. All right. So visitor comes. These are visitors coming from your Facebook or your banners or whatever you've got going on. Oops. And they visit your website, and then they bounce off. Well, if they were pixeled, right? If we pixeled them, what that allows you to do is have a little ad over here on Facebook. You could do Instagram, things like that, whatever. And now they see that ad, and that gives you the opportunity to try and funnel them back to the website. So they're not lost. They're just simply in another bucket. Now, no, you don't have their contact information if they didn't fill out the form or anything like that. But instead of them just drifting out to nowhere, right, where you'll never see them again, the black hole or whatever, now they're in your audiences over here, your pixeled audience. So now they could start seeing your ads, and you actually have an opportunity to try and get in front of them again.
That's the key, dude. So I love your little buckets, by the way. They're super cute. Amanda has a question for you, buddy. Can I throw in a question?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. If retargeting is set up after a paid Facebook ad through Ads Manager, could those people still be included in a future retargeting effort?
Only if you had them pixeled. So only, it depends. So if you're sending them to a page, that page should have already been, page would have had to have been pixeled. If it's not, then you don't have that traffic. If you're using something like on Facebook, meaning they don't leave Facebook, so it's a messenger or a lead ad or something on your page, then yes, you can, Facebook's keeping that. And so you could still market to that audience. Does that answer the question? Did I get that understood?
I think you did. If not, Amanda, just chime in and re-ask the question in a different format. But I think you did. So okay. Wesley, how do you solve this issue? Because it's a prominent issue here.
Yeah. So actually I have that coming up. I think there's just 200 slides left. No, I'm just kidding.
That's great.
But real quick, one of the things that this kind of dawned on me a couple months ago, and I realized like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't been looking at it this way, right? Because I was messing with my email list, and I'm thinking like, I need another way to communicate with people. And then I thought, well, wait a second. If I have my email list and I send out, you guys send emails. I think a lot of agents send out emails, happy holidays. They do different messages, market reports, all that stuff, right? They send that to their email list. I'm just going to draw circles for time. And then maybe you guys have a contact list like with phone numbers and things like that, and maybe you text people or whatever, right? That's just a different kind of list. That's my list. And I thought, well, wait a second. If I'm building this whole pixeled audience, what if I just treated that like a list?
Yeah, that would be great.
And what if I communicated with them the same way I do with my email audience and my SMS? So for example, when I send out that email to wish, this is coming up definitely for fall and holidays or even market reports. If I'm going to send an email, what if I were to also just take that content, that whatever I made, and duplicate that, put that into a Facebook ad and just send that to my list? I mean, if I'm going to spend the time to get, what is it, like 10% to 12% to 15 or 20% to open my email?
Yeah.
Why would I not put that on my pixeled audience, which has a way higher view rate than email?
True.
Right? And it doesn't cost much more to do that. And just to answer the question, how do people get pixeled? Remember, when they visit your website, and I kind of glazed over this, there's a script in your Facebook Ads Manager account. It will give you a pixel that you can take a little script and have it added to your website. That's how that works. So your landing page, your website has that pixel. But once they visit your website, they end up in your pixeled audience list right here. And then now, if I send them stuff just like I'm sending other people, I've essentially created a completely new channel of communication, right? So now, and one that people actually view more often than than an email potentially. And the other thing is I could do it more consistently than I can with phone or text message stuff, because you can only do that so often.
True.
Now, one other thing too that a lot of people don't know about is you can also use customer audiences, not just pixeled. That means you can actually take your existing clients, your past clients, your leads, your Zillow leads, whatever it is, export them, upload them into Facebook, and add them in addition to your pixeled audience. So now you have the people who, yeah, exactly. Now you have the people who visit your website. You have your entire database. You've got everyone in that list. And now when you create an ad, you could send it out to the list. Make sense?
Makes total sense, dude. I love that.
All right. So, and if you have a CRM, it's really easy. You just export them from your CRM or wherever your leads are coming from.
Well,
and
it's for you.
Huh?
It's not that easy to export for some people. Just so you know.
All right. Well, that's understandable. Trust me. We help people export all the time because they don't knew it. So we end up having to do it for them a lot of times. Then what if you could bring the content? Remember the content you made back then when you learned that new strategy, you made it and never used it again? Bring it back. If it's any good, bring it back. Bring back those failed marketing not necessarily failed, but those efforts, and bring them back from the dead and put them into retargeting. What makes great content? Well, what if instead of having to create content over and over again, trying to keep it refreshed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, what if you just created one or two or three good pieces and then you just rotated them? And what are the good pieces? Everything I shared with you before. Those are all great ideas for great content. But instead of having to create them all over or like multiple times, what if you just created 2 or 3 of them and just rotated them every quarter? Or you create 4 and you have 1 a quarter and you just switch them out. You know, you could do that. Sometimes I do things very lazy. So if you're thinking, oh, I could do more than that, hey, go at it. Go at it. These are just a few examples. You know, one is doing testimonials. One is just a happy holiday, almost like sending a gift card or, you know, a greeting. And they may send, a great idea would be to send out that same greeting card with the same image as your ad, right?
Wait, you help Ruth Krishnan?
No, I just saw a post she did, and I use it as example.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, but no, I did not. I think Vantagic is ours. I think those are just a couple examples. But anyway, yeah, so you can create a video, you can create a happy holiday, whatever it is you want to communicate, right? You're essentially controlling the ads that your prospects and your SOI, see online. To kind of wrap that up, because I know we're running out of time, is now remember that boosted post you were doing, on Facebook? Well, instead of doing that, now you're sending people into this audience. All right. I'm not going to spend too much time drawing people, but this audience is a warmer audience. And maybe this audience only contains, 200 to maybe 5,000 people or something. Now think about your $10 or $15. Did you know that your $15 now in a month can actually serve the 90-something% of the circle that will see it at least once or more?
Okay, well, that makes a bigger sense. See, now that's the result that I wanted when I was boosting, right?
Exactly. Right. But because we're boosting to cold audiences, we never get any traction. No one ever sees that ad more than once. You're just picking a little piece of a few thousand of 30,000 people every time, and there's no consistency to actually make it work. Your budget's not big enough. $10, $20, $50, $100 isn't enough to actually make it effective. But you can do something like this with only, maybe 15 to 30 bucks a month in ad spend and reach all those people. And sometimes even less.
Dude, I love that.
Pretty cool, right?
How the heck do you help us do this, man?
All right, so let's go and get it. Oh, one last thing. The best part is, everyone, about that is it's evergreen. So when you create it as an ad, a retargeting or a follow-up ad, it's not just for the day or hours. It's for days. It's for weeks. It's for months. And it goes forever until you want to stop it or until you want to change out the ad. So if you forgot, that's okay. Just do it later. Like you really don't have to change these maybe every quarter. The bigger your audience, the less you have to change them. The smaller, actually, the more. But you don't have to. You don't have to. That's the best part. So a couple quick things, because I'm out of time. These are bonus benefits of using follow-up ads, follow-up safety net. Basically just if you forgot to follow up or send a card or do anything, if your ads are doing it, it did it for you. So it's a safety net. The other one is RAS. If you're not familiar, reticular activating system. When people start seeing your name, they start seeing your photo, they start paying attention. Just like when you bought that white BMW that you thought, no one really has this. Then once you got the white BMW, you notice like, wow, there's like white BMWs everywhere, right? Because now you're paying attention to it.
That's right.
So if I'm seeing ads from this Scott Alford constantly, and then I get an email from, guess who? Scott Alford, that name's going to sound familiar to me. It's going to help to increase my open rate. And then especially if you're using video, you can start becoming almost a celebrity to your own clients and prospects because they don't realize you're just marketing to a small group of people. They think Facebook is like citywide or countywide or statewide. So you kind of look like a big shot to everyone. And this gives you the ability to compete better against the giants like Zillow and this and that, whatever, because they're seeing you more often. They're getting to know you, all that. So that is the secret to achieving top of mind awareness on a budget.
Well,
now,
hold on. Pause. Because I like that. I had a couple of questions for you. First, one person, Jill, says, wow, this really explains a lot. I love this. This is the kind of info that I needed to be more strategic on Facebook. Thank you. So yeah, Wesley, you put it into easy terms to understand so people can clearly see how this works. The other one was Ty is asking, Tristan, do you use their service? And I said, Ty, I haven't tried them, but I'm signing up now. It's the first time I'm seeing what they're doing. So yeah, just heads up. So there you go. Back to you, Wesley.
Thank you. So yeah, so obviously we're very excited to get Tristan on the service. We'll be setting him up shortly. And I think it's going to help him to actually take what he does so well and get it out there to the right people more often and easily with less effort, because I know he's already so busy. But what we ended up doing was we were setting these things up for people. We were spending, we'd have to charge like $500 or even more to set this stuff up. And then what we ended up doing was like, what if we just kind of made this something they could do easily so they can go in and change their ads when they want and really treat it like that message. Like you don't call up MailChimp and tell them, hey, I want to send an email and get on the phone and strategize it, right? No, you have the email you want to send, you go on MailChimp, you create it, and you click send and it goes out. So why don't you just have the same system for follow-up ads on Facebook, right? So that's what we went to create. It's like, let's just create that same feeling where basically our system, our technology, our LinkU bot essentially helps and creates those ads for you. So just to kind of give you, and I know we're kind of at time, so I'm just going to cover this very, very quickly about what we have. And if it's something you're interested in, we'll give you a link if it's something you'd like to sign up for or learn more about. But essentially the way our system does it to make it easy, because it is, and Tristan could back me up on this, going in Facebook's ad manager and creating audiences and keeping up to date and uploading and syncing them and all these different things, keeping up to date on Facebook's changes and policies and housing, this, that, all these different things, right, that you guys get held up on. As an agency, we have access to more stuff and it allows us to do it very easily. And you don't get held up by those types of requirements or restrictions and the time to learn it all. So for example, with this system, you would get our easy ad creator. So it allows you to create a follow-up ad in just minutes. Like I said, you just go in the system, you choose like what kind of ad you want to go to your website, your Facebook page, open Facebook Messenger. Then you we have copy pre-written you could choose from, or you can completely make up your own. You put your content, what your headline is, your sub-headline, that's it. You upload a photo. You can use a stock photo, although I don't recommend stock photos for these types of ads. I recommend doing something more personal, more candid. You want it to feel social. And or LinkU can actually design the ad image for you. If you're just like completely drawing a blank, you would just check that box and we'll take care of it. Create a branded ad or something. And that's it. That's literally it. It's like 3 steps and your ad is created. Right. And it's going to go on to Facebook. The way it works to give you like, well, I don't understand. How does that work? Why is it so easy?
There you go. Answer my question there. Perfect.
What it does is use the power of LinkU AI human technology. So what does that mean? You provide the details on the ad, right? The image, all that, which I just showed you. Our LinkU AI bot will make suggestions or adjustments. You saw there was saying, oh, this sounds kind of, it'll say like, oh, this language sounds kind of negative, like you should do something more happy or whatever. And then this just goes to our team. Our human team gets basically a queue of the ads. They review them. They make sure everything looks good. Everything follows Facebook's requirements. If not, we'll let you know, hey, just change this one thing, or we'll change it for you if it's something very small. And then we send you a preview of the ad so you can see exactly what it looks like. And then you just approve it, and then it goes active on Facebook under your business page to your whole audience. It's so easy. It's so simple. You can run up to 3 ads at once. You could change them out however often you want. I don't recommend using this to promote listings and things that are changing constantly. You wouldn't do that with like a mailer or something necessarily. You can, but I don't really recommend it for that. It's more to get the content out, get your face out, get that your brand out in front of people. That's what it's like. The other thing too is what it does is it syncs and integrates with your CRM. So if you're already using Follow Boss, you're already using Zillow Leads, you already have whatever, we could sync with that, or you can upload your contacts. So if you have lists, you can export them. We can help you export them. That's part of this deal as well. You could send them to us. We'll get it all nice and we'll upload them for you. Or you can use the platform to upload them all on your own. It's super easy. You just export them from your database, your Excel spreadsheet or whatever. You can even upload an Excel spreadsheet. It makes it as simple as possible. And like I was saying, you can connect your existing CRM or lead platform using Zapier, or if you need help and you have no idea what the hell a Zapier is, that's okay. You just email our team and say, I have Follow Up Boss, and how do I do the LinkU? And we'll actually set up the Zaps, and we'll take care of everything for you, because I know not everyone is very comfortable with the technology when it comes to this stuff. So we really try to make that easy. So LinkU will basically sync it to Facebook for you. They'll keep your audiences up to date so you don't have to keep messing with it or thinking about it. And once it's connected, it's all automatic. So it's pretty much on autopilot. So the audiences are getting updated, your ads being seen automatically, and now you don't really have to worry about having to go out and do this work or any of that stuff.
Dude.
It works with virtually any CRM or lead generation platform. And then real quick, we monitor it. We monitor the ads if necessary. We have systems in place. We're making sure, honestly, we're going to get you cheaper exposure than if you do it on yourself, because we have rules and stuff to bypass, not bypass, but to adjust the minimums, because otherwise it's $1 a day minimum. We can get that down to $15 for ad spend and more distribution over the entire month. We'll send you monthly reports. You have access to view how many people have seen it, and you're going to see, wow, that's way better than what I was getting on my post, remember, from the insights? You're going to get way more people seeing your stuff, way more reach, way more impressions, and more engagement as well. And then we'll also send you emails and stuff like, hey, you know, like when coronavirus is going on, we said, hey, you guys should people should create a coronavirus type themed ad and give you some content and some resources that you could use to create an ad or a video or whatever to share. And we'll do that for like holidays or things or other recommendations. So that's pretty much it. It's your follow-up on autopilot. Here's everything you get with the offer that we're offering today, if this is something you'd be interested in moving forward on. I understand $9.97 for some of us are having difficult times to make that commitment. So we do have a payment plan available. Not really a payment plan. It's actually just $97 a month. So if you buy the annual, it's $9.97. You get the whole year. There's zero on board. And then at the end of the year, it does renew. You can renew it for another year at the same price. You're locked into that price. Or you can renew at $97 a month or cancel or whatever you want to do. If you're not sure, if you don't want to spend that much, or you want to try it out, you want to get a feel for it, there is no annual commitment on the monthly. You can simply just sign up for monthly. The only thing is there is a small $99 onboard because we have to we do set up ad account and things like that in the back, separate from your ad account. We don't like to mix those up. And the only other thing is the $15 a month. This is actually kind of cool. Is sent directly to Facebook. Directly. So we're not charging, we're not marking up. You see exactly how much you spend with Facebook, not like you send us some and it's somehow incorporated in the price and then we're only spending like $5 towards Facebook, right? Yeah. It's completely see-through, so transparent, so you know exactly how much you're spending on Facebook because you're paying that ad spend direct to Facebook, and we hook all that up for you. It's all done through our platform completely. And for those of you who sign up today, we don't have a ton of these, and I'm working with LabCoat to include a couple other things in the box, so we'll see. But I'm going to send you a special welcome kit from LinkU. I'm not going to give away everything that's inside, but we're basically putting some cool stuff inside for the LabCoat community, and then also our famous sold shirt, right, in the size that you like. And I think we have like 20 of those in stock right this second. So if you were to order today, I can get you on the list and make sure you get that special or that box or the welcome kit, which are really cool. So that's pretty much it. Oh, two more things really good, and then we're done. PayPal credit, there is an option on the form. You just click on the PayPal credit button. That allows you to buy it now, the $9.97. We do throw a little special extra bonus in the welcome kits for those people who order the $9.97. I'm not going to give it away, but it's a little trinket that I think will be very helpful. It has some pretty nice value to it, plus some other things. And you can pay it off in 6 months with no interest if you just make your minimum payments. So that's PayPal credit.
All right.
And the last slide is the guarantee.
Perfect.
And I'm done. 10x your minimum investment by the end of the first year, or you get another year absolutely free. And this is at your discretion, not ours. That's it.
All right. Question for you.
Yes.
It's a good one. Roberta says, hi, Roberta. First of all, how are you? If you're an agent returning to the business with actually 0 leads in the CRM, is this a good platform?
Good question. That's a great question.
Yeah.
If you go to that page, I don't have time to get into it today, but what I have done, what I am doing for new people who are either looking for help building their database or don't quite have an audience pixeled yet, is I am giving you my Pixeled Profits course, which teaches you exactly how to build your pixeled audience from your existing Facebook friends and your personal page, from your existing address book, all that stuff. Plus, I'm throwing in another course, which is our property promotion course, which teaches you how to leverage properties either that you have listed or other agents in your office have listed to generate leads and grow your pixeled audience with potential buyers and sellers. Those are trainings, and we give you the lead gen tools. Remember, we were talking about landing pages. We give you the landing pages as part of this deal so that you can start sending people there and pixeling them. Because I know some of you don't have a website, or you don't have an effective site, or you don't have a place to send them. So that is all included, and you'll see it on the list of bonuses there.
Dude, I love that.
And yes, you can use it with mortgage advisors. We have mortgage people with us. Obviously, their content's just a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, just treat it like, what would you send to your email list? What would you send in a monthly newsletter? What would you send in a postcard? Just take that content you're already doing and just put it in an ad. And it's actually great if you're doing multiple things, because now they're getting that message in multiple channels in multiple ways, digitally and even offline.
All right, good answers, dude. I don't know why. This is me personally, okay? Yeah. I don't know why I didn't know this, but I didn't know you did this cool stuff, dude. This is really awesome. By the way, this
is something we were doing something a little bit different, and what we found was what I was telling you is like, dude, oh my God, like it was just a mind blown. Like, why am I making this so complicated? You know, and let's just make this easy. So someone was asking, okay, wait, but do I have to do something? All you do is after you order, you're going to basically get an access code. You go, I think it's like a 4-step, the one I kind of showed you earlier, where you create your ad, you choose an ad we pre-wrote for you, you upload an image, you can use a stock photo, or we literally have made it so easy. Because I was telling Tristan this the other day, we know you guys are busy, so we've tried to make it, if we can just get you to do this little bit, that will be enough. So you do the onboard and we take care of everything else. We set up the attic. Everything's done. All the complex tech stuff is done in the back end. You don't see it. You see a very easy wizard. So you're going to be creating, you're creating your ad. We're taking care of all the settings and all that crap. There's so many settings, and Tristan runs ads. You know what I mean? There's so many settings in there. We just gave you the options for your title, your content, your image, and where do you want it to go? Like, that's all you have to do.
Dude, this is a missing piece for real estate agents. I didn't know
absolutely
that you did that. All right, two questions that are good, and then I'll let you go. Sep is asking, what is the optimal or minimum number of contacts that makes your product effective? Hundreds, thousands? What are we looking at?
Of what? Of how many what?
What's the optimal number of contacts?
Oh, contacts.
Yeah.
Honestly, the average number of contacts that agents have in their past clients and their SOI and stuff like that is under 500. More are sitting around 200 to 250. So when I say effective, one thing I want to get clear to everybody is this is not a lead gen program. This is you following up, right? So people will see you. You are going to be in front of people constantly and consistently. You're going to build your, I'm forgetting the word right now, your authority and all that stuff. And you could do that, oh my gosh, with 200 is good. If you're under that, you are going to want to do some building, but I give you everything you need to build that pixeled audience. And that's just contacts. Once you put the pixel in, assuming you have anyone visiting your website or your Facebook page, there's also some other cool tricks where I teach you how you can pixel people who watch your Facebook videos and show ads to those people. There's all these different things you can do so that 200 audience you might have now can quickly become 500 to 1,000 within 30 to 60 days, very, very easily.
So what you're doing is you're allowing us to, for those that are still hanging in there, and dude, we still have 100 people watching just on the webinar.
Awesome.
what you're saying, and this is key because if you're with any brokerage at all, they say this all the time: focus on growing your database. And that's in essence what you're allowing us to do, right?
And keeping them warm.
You're allowing us to grow our database and then retargeting to them so they remember who you are, right? And they continue to say, oh, got it, Wesley. Oh, that's right. Oh, Wesley. Oh, Wesley's everywhere. Oh, you know what? Awesome. I love that. So
exactly.
Just for people who don't understand what this is growing that database that you wanted your whole life and retargeting to, if you already have a database, well, it's still going to grow. But that database that's just sitting there that you wish you could touch, now Wesley's going to be able to send these notifications through social media by just going through your feed and saying, hey, here I am again, by the way. Oh, here I am again. How often is it popping into their feeds, man? Is that up to how much we spend, or what's that look like?
No, that's a great question. So with the $15 a month spend, you're going to be seeing generally several times, potentially several times a week. Here's the thing, guys. We've set it up so that you don't want to be in the news feed too many times because it becomes annoying. So what we may do is we may have you show up like in the right column. So you'll be in the right column more, so you're still there. And then we make it so it's just the right amount. Now, if you're doing more ads, you're doing different types of ads, then that's great, because if you have 3 ads in there and if they see one ad this Monday and they see a different one on Thursday and another one, but it is several times a month. It's not like just a couple times, because that doesn't really have any difference. People have to see things 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times for it to really, really stick. And so that's what's also awesome about this is it's as many times until the frequency gets too many, and then we kind of adjust it and we kind of play with it like that. Does that make sense?
Totally, dude. I love this. All right, there's a lot of questions still, but like, if you have any questions, just go on there. Is there a way to contact you if we have more questions, or how do we do that?
Yeah, let's see what I could do here. If you have questions, go ahead and text this number. Just text your questions here. I don't know what I'm going to get myself into, but it's fine. All right, so if you have any questions or anything about the offer, go ahead and just text this phone number. It is 844-931-3777. If necessary, I can see about having someone also call you, as long as we're not overwhelmed or anything with the calls. But yeah, just text that number and I can answer any questions you have. That's 844-931-3777. There you go.
Perfect. Let me post it up on Facebook too, buddy.
Yep. And so, yeah, so go ahead, and I know we didn't get to cover everything included, so do feel free to read that page. It has everything listed there. But this is to build your branding to your existing audiences. It's the biggest thing we hear. And remember, guys, this is how it normally goes for agents. You guys do your deal, you get busy, you kind of forget to touch or follow up with your past clients, your prospects, your leads. Let's say you got a lead and they weren't ready right now, or they visited your page, did some research, they weren't ready right now. Generally, those people don't get followed up with at all. So if you have follow-up ads running to them, whether they're your potential prospects, your past clients or whatnot, rather than just kind of like going through these big spaces where they never hear from you or see anything from you, this fills the gaps. So if you already do follow up, we have people who send cards and magazines, things like that, 2, 3 times a year or once a year. Well, what are you doing between that? This helps fill the gaps for you, right? It's that safety net so that they're still seeing you. And the reason that's important is because even if they forget, you kind of go cold for those 3 months, that's when that referral comes in, and it's like, and I'm sure we can all speak to this, right? Where it's like, oh, who would you refer to real estate? You're like, I have an agent, but you're not like that excited about it. So the referral isn't strong, But if you have someone who's hearing from you and they're constantly seeing you and stuff, their excitement, I don't know if you've seen this, and those of you who work with referrals know what I'm talking about. they're excited. So if they're hearing from you, they're seeing from you, it's not just, oh yeah, Tristan, he sold their house like last year, but I don't really talk to him. If they see you with this, oh dude, Tristan, he's my agent. Yeah, he's on Facebook. Like he's everywhere. You definitely got to go with him. 2 different types of referrals. And so that's what this is built to do. It's built to build and get you, like, just make you known in front of your audience and the people researching you. And that's what we hear all the time. Oh yeah, I see all the time. Or, oh, hey mom, I saw you're on Facebook. Or, hey, you might hear from your family and friends, stuff like that. So it just goes beyond, and then it's easier to share instead of just having an article here and there that maybe someone shares. It's consistently running evergreen.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Dude, I was just answering questions. So thank you.
For sure. And I mean, I don't know if we're on a time limit. We have to leave. I'm here. I'm available still. So it's up to you guys.
Dude, you can go for another 5 minutes if you want to explain anything else. We still have.
Yeah, I mean, I figure I was just gonna work through questions. It looks like, okay, so if your company doesn't do what they promise to do, is refund possible? Some companies like to present goes, look, if you guys are focused, like if you guys are worried about maybe a refund or something, I would do the monthly, because then you could try it out and then you could decide, do you want to renew for the annual? You'll still have the option to do or go the next, and we could backdate or whatever. If you have any concerns at all, whether I don't know if this is going to work, just do the monthly, because then it's only $198. Now, if it, for some reason you change your mind in the next couple of days, we can do a refund, but generally after that we don't, because we've already put all our work up. And there is no like not working. Like there's no such thing as that. Unless the product was broken, then of course we would give you a refund if it was like broken. Hopefully that makes sense. The 10X though is probably one of our most popular guarantees. It's actually more popular than our money back guarantee when we were doing that, because it gives you a year to really see if it works. This isn't something that you're going to see like you have 2 weeks and then, oh my God, like you'll have people see your ads, but it's not like you're going to make your commissions back, right? But over a year, we feel you can make 10X the value. So 10K return ROI guaranteed. And at the end of that, if you don't think you got 10K in some way, somehow from what you purchased, whether it be this or the bonuses or whatever, then just say, hey, you know what? I don't feel I got 10K. I got 8X, but I didn't get 10X. And we'll give you another year free. It's
well, dude, Wesley, if I got 8X, I'm not going to be complaining.
We hope that hope that people feel that way as well, but you know, that's fine.
All right. This is a simple question, but it's a great question. Okay.
Yeah.
Sep, by the way, great questions throughout. How do you know which contacts are pixeled and which are not?
That's a great question. So Facebook, when you're dealing with smaller audiences under 1,000 for privacy, ever since the whole thing happened, that I forgot the name of the thing, Analytica.
Yeah.
Ever since then, small audiences, they don't really tell you how many you have. What I can, like, they won't say you have 222 people in your audience. For privacy reasons. I don't know why they feel like that's a privacy thing, but apparently people are exploiting it somehow. So what they do is they'll match it, right? Your contacts will match up. Facebook has a great match rate. What I mean by that is they'll use their AI to look at name, phone, email address. You don't have to have all of it. If you just have name and email, that's okay. If you just have name and phone number, that's okay. Facebook will use that information to match it. They have about 50 to 60 or 70% match rate where they can actually match the users. When they match the users though, it doesn't tell us how many. It will just simply show a green light and say your audience is ready. If you only have like 22 people, it will show a red light and it'll say the audience is too small. Generally, if that's the case, we'll let you know if it's too small. And then again, we'll help you get that pixel build up. We went through the course and whatnot. But yeah, they don't really tell you. We just know whether there's enough or not. I can tell you this. As long as you have 100 people pixeled, generally, your ads will get served. As long as there's 100 people in the audience. And what we do is we'll combine a lot of them. We'll combine, and a lot of people don't do this. We combine your website audience with your Facebook visitors, with anyone who's liked or engaged or commented on any of your business posts. So we combine all those to try and get those numbers over the 100 or 200 which is why I don't think we have an issue, because we do that.
I agree. All right, two questions here. Laura, what's up, Laura? How you doing? Laura Thompson. How do you determine 10x return guarantee? Is that closing business, or what are we looking at?
It's completely up to you. It's completely up to you. So the way I imagine is, look, we try and give you as much value as possible. So you're going to get value. Maybe it's deals you closed as a result of the program. Maybe it's some of the bonuses from the training. Maybe you close a deal off one of the listing promotions we taught you how to do, or maybe in time saved. If you're like, oh my God, I'm going to save 100 hours a year. Well, what's your time worth? Is that value? It's up to you. We hope you take into account the total value, but it's 10x value. So we want you to get a 10x return on your investment. So if you invest $1,000, by the end of the year, maybe you close 2 deals, and maybe you got a referral, and then maybe you met some guy, and then maybe you attended some of our Success Club trainings, and you got some value there. Maybe closed a deal from learning a tip there. Whatever it is, or maybe you saved time, or maybe you don't have, now your assistant could work on higher level things instead of wasting time on content. These are all different ways that you can build value, but the best part is, honestly, it's up to you what you feel. If you feel like you have to close, 5 deals off of it, and that's the only way you want to judge it, then, that's up to you, and that's fine.
All right, man. Do you work with Canadians as well?
With what?
Canadians?
Yes. I will just say, yeah, actually, I think there might have been someone who had an issue selecting a state. So all we did was manually fix that, and we're working on fixing that province.
Do you work with people in Portugal?
That's a good question. Message me. I'll see what we can do.
All right, cool. Because we got Portugal, South Africa, and Australia, and Canada.
Yeah, Canada, I know for sure. The other ones, we're looking into worldwide options, but haven't got that yet, just because Facebook changes
every day
restrictions and rules beyond, the US.
Yeah.
So John is asking, what's the success rate? % of customers renewing. That's a good question. We probably have about 80% of our whole product. But of this product, it's actually higher. It's more in the 88% renewal rate for this product, because this product's so much easy. What we found is with our other follow-up products, it requires more effort from the agents, and anything that requires a lot more effort or time to figure out or any of that stuff have obviously a lower renewal because they're not using it, right? So. Yeah. In fact, probably the biggest thing we get is people go through it, and then the number one question we get is, hey, what do I do next? It's like, you did it. Isn't that great? Like, I'm like, okay, we're going to have to make it look a little more, we're going to have to add a little more complication just because it's too easy.
You should add more steps that say, like, you're almost there.
Yeah, basically.
Almost there.
But usually there's always a couple more things that they could do, like the pixel profits and stuff. And there's always more you can do when you get to that point. But I don't like to overwhelm people. I like to let you know, hey, look, you do this, you go to the onboard, and it's set up and it's working, and you're ready. You're done. You're ready to go.
All right. So a couple more questions come in.
Sure.
And what's up, Amanda? You're still here with us. Nice. Will you set up a Zapier and link to all media outlets to help obtain the 100-person minimum?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what she means by all media outlets, but we will, like, if you have 3 programs you're using and you need us to set up the Zap for you, we can absolutely set up the Zap for you for those 3 programs. We have an article that shows you how to do it, or if you're not tech savvy or you're not comfortable, our team will set it up for you.
Got it. And Sep's asking another great question. How many posts per year? You can have up to 3 running at once with this program, and you can actually change it out as many times as you want. So I don't recommend going and changing every day. That would be a waste of your time. I usually recommend changing it out every 3 months or so. I would say over 3 months. You don't have to, making very clear, you don't have to, but I found that's a pretty good time. But if you wanted to change it out every month or rotate them every couple months or every few weeks, you absolutely can do that.
And at this time, we don't have a limit on that unless he makes us create one.
Nice, nice. All right, I posted your, so this is what I did. I put amazing webinar. If you have questions about pixels and retargeting, text Wesley from LinkU, and I put your number, and I pinned it to the top of the Facebook group for a couple of hours. So
Okay.
that way, if anybody forgets that number or doesn't see it, it's pinned to the top of Lab Coat Agents, the Facebook group. And dude, that was pretty good. Any other thing you want to add here in closing?
No, I guess that's pretty much it. I know there's a whole crap ton of questions. So if I didn't answer, we didn't get to you, please feel free to text me, and then I'll make sure we get your questions answered if this is something you would like to do.
I feel like the next webinar we do, maybe we should just go into pixels just so that people understand how to do it, the complexity of it, right? And then show exactly what you do to help them. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do that. I know there's a lot. I try to cover a lot, and there's so much to learn, and I can absolutely do an entire class on simply pixel strategy.
Dude, I love that. That's it. Let's book that one. Pixels.
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right. Thanks, Wesley.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.
Thanks, everybody. This is recorded, so it's going into our YouTube channel. And if you missed any part of it, it's still in the Lab Coat Agents Facebook community. It's pinned, so take a look at that. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks, Wesley.
Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.